In the dating world, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups, men and women. Online services are available that attempt to bring these two groups together. One woman investigated a service during the course of a year. This is her story.
I'm just going to cut to the chase right here and just talk about the positives and the negatives when it comes to eHarmony and pretty much I think all online dating as a whole. First of all, let's talk about the positives. Let's talk about the good news first. In this day and age, we have such access to technology. I can talk to somebody who lives all the way in California just like that if I have access to them. Second positive, eHarmony came out with an iPhone app, which was very, very handy to be able to just look up my matches on the go. Third positive, the whole idea behind eHarmony is that it matches you based on your 29 dimensions of compatibility, which are, and it's an actual excellent idea to more so match people based on maybe their social style, how they express themselves, their values and beliefs, and maybe some of their experiences that they've had in life, like education, and it gets more to the heart of the person and how to match them. And the final positive to eHarmony is that I got a ton of matches. So now let's talk about the negatives. Big negative to me was that all of my matches were flex matches, which means they're sort of a match, but not really. So they were matching on my 29 dimensions of compatibility, but not on any of my personal preferences, or some of my personal preferences. If I go through all of my personal preferences, they weren't really that extreme. I wanted 1, a non-smoker, 2, a Christian, 3, some common interests with each other. Even though the idea of 29 dimensions is a great idea, sometimes that can't be enough to start a relationship. You have to have those common interests with somebody. You have to have that chemistry with people. This really didn't have much to do with eHarmony, and more so had to do with the guys that I was matched with. First of all, I met this guy. He's wearing lip gloss and eyeliner. He was from New York. I promise you, he must have been a model. He didn't say what his occupation was, and he was the real life Zoolander.
What would you say your trademark is, if you have one?
Well, I guess the look I'm best known for is blue steel.
What's that look like? It's impressive.
And then there's Ferrari and the Tigra. The Tigra's a lot softer. It's a little bit more of a catalog look. I use it for footwear sometimes.
Can I see that?
And then we have the guy who swears that he is 25 years old. There is no way this guy is 25 years old.
Oh, the picture's from a couple years back. Have a seat. I'm so happy to meet you in person, you know.
Me too. How long have you been using the internet?
Oh, 3 or 4 years. I didn't know anything about it until a couple of years ago.
You're good at it now.
There was just a lot of creepers on the website. They always wanted to talk, and it was like, no, archive you, gone, done. Don't put any pictures of you with a female and not label it. Like, if it's your cousin, that's fine. If it's your sister, that's cool, but label me and my sister, or me and my mother, or me and my cousin. Some guys would crop out the girl, cut her out, but you can see that there's an arm around him that's sort of intimate, or they would like black out her face. This is a problem I do have with eHarmony. It's sort of a problem between the guys that I was matched up and between eHarmony, but there is a question that says, do you have kids at home? Almost 100% of these guys say, no, I do not have any kids at home. One guy, he is 28 years old. I saw it and I'm like, oh, he lives in my area. This is great. And he says what he's most thankful for are his 3 kids. 3 kids at the age of 28. I love them, but I can't be around them because of their moms. Moms, plural. I don't want to be part of the Maury show because of eHarmony. I want to have kids someday, but I don't want to be a stepmom at the age of 24. Oh, and then this guy, just pièce de résistance. There's a question at the top of your page that is, what are you most passionate about? And this guy says, family, faith, sex, and cars. Automatic closing the match on you. Type of guy that I had the biggest problem with on eHarmony was the guy that looks like Prince Charming. You see a picture like this and you're like, wow, he's a great guy. He's 27 years old. He's the right height, non-smoker, Christian. He's a youth pastor too. And you send an icebreaker to the guy and you don't hear anything. You don't get an icebreaker back. So I would just send closed-ended questions. And a lot of these guys would just close on me automatically. Maybe some guys can comment downstairs. Is that too forward to send closed-ended questions to a guy? Or are these guys like making a big deal out of nothing? Did I say something wrong? Or are you just a jerk? So let's do the math really quick. I probably had about 1,000 matches during the course of a year. And 25% of those I closed on. Another 25% the guys closed on, and let's just say the third 25% we both closed on. We both mutually said, you know what, we're not a good match for each other. So I was left with about 250 matches to choose from. That's still a whole lot of matches to go through. So I had a total of 2 phone conversations with 2 different guys. The first one was a complete bust. I was super nervous. I'm awkward.
Hi, I'm Date Mike. Nice to meet me. How do you like your eggs in the morning?
I'm kind of a nerd. So, and I thought that might be attractive. I would meet a nerdy guy who would like a nerdy girl. Of those 2 guys, the phone conversation went a little bit further and I went on a date with him twice. And the chemistry just wasn't there, which is fine. Out of 1,000 matches, I went on 1 date in a year. Online dating just isn't my thing. I think it's just not my thing. Let me know downstairs. What have you used that has helped when it comes to dating? Have you used speed dating? Have you just met people? Have you consulted a professional matchmaker? I think some of the women at my church could make a bundle if they started like a matchmaking service, because I don't know a lot of the guys at my church, and the guys I do know, we just don't really have much in common, or they're too young or too old. I've realized I just need to be single for a while, and it's just going to naturally happen. And if it doesn't happen, I just need to be happy with that.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, plan me no plans. I'm in no rush. Maybe I've learned playing with matches a girl can get burned. So bring me no ring, groom me no groom, find me no fine, catch me no cat, unless he's a matchless man.
I know for a fact that on this side there's going to be an eHarmony or Match.com ad, and you're going to have to deal with that.